friends. Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your weekly, I don't even know what to call it, your weekly reading for the collective. In other words, a weekly reading for anybody and everybody who is drawn to and who feels like connecting with us right now. So we are doing a collective reading. This is for the week starting Sunday, the 20th of February through to Saturday, the 26th of February. So we're going to call it the last week of February, isn't it? For the last week of February 2022, this is a collective reading for anybody and everybody who's looking for a bit of guidance for that week. So the way the reading works, I know I don't normally explain, but I feel the need to do so today for some reason. What I have on the table here with me now are just the cards that I used to get the theme for the week ahead. So I have got an oracle deck here, and this is my combined oracle of the Goddess Love and the Goddess Dream cards. So it's two decks that I have been joined together. They are by the same artist, the same creator. And yeah, they just work so nicely together as a combined deck. So I'm going to use that one to give us the theme for the week ahead. And then I have got my Word of the Year oracle that we grab one card from each, we put them together, and they give us the overall theme as well. Once we've done the basic theme for the week ahead, we're then going to look into your animal energy for the week. So what is the animal energy that is available for us to work with? And this week I'm going to work with this amazing deck. It's the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards by Leanne Peters. Leanne Peters is in Australia, and I have been a lover and supporter of her work for a very long time. So really pleased to have her decks. I've got 3 of her decks. So I thought we would use that one today to get the animal message or the animal energy that's working with us for the week ahead. And then I'm going to stick with the standard Crystal Spirits oracle deck for the crystal energy that we are going to work with for the week ahead. So we will work with that one. And then once we've done that, so once we've done our theme, our animal and our crystal energy for the week, we then go into the elemental readings. And the elemental readings is where I do a reading per element. There are 4 elements, being fire, earth, air, and water. And a fire being your zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Earth signs being your Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, and air signs being Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and your water signs being Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So it's just a short little reading that I do for each of the elements to give you a little bit of guidance, energy for the week ahead. And this week I'm going to work with the beautiful, the amazing Meraki Tarot. Oh, this deck, let me just tell you how absolutely gorgeous. Oh, how is it? We got the Lover's card underneath. So we're going to work with the Meraki Tarot. The artwork, everything about this deck is just beautiful. So really looking forward to doing that for our elemental readings. And then we're going to go on to our Q&A. And I know I say it every week, but the Q&A really seems to be quite popular. I've had quite a few people reach out and message me privately around the Q&A saying, you know, how did I know that that was on their mind? Or how did I know that that was something that they'd been pondering for the longest time, or whatever it is? So I don't know. So here are my questions deck. And this is a deck I purchased off Etsy, and it has just some amazing, these I think are supposed to be used for journal prompts. So if you wanted to journal and do some work on yourself, then this is what the questions deck would be used for. But I use it to do some Q&A with Spirit. And then once we've drawn the question, I am then going to be using this amazing deck. I don't know how many of you will recognize it. Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Torian. Oh man, I don't have enough words for how amazing, how significant, how relevant, how absolutely beautiful this particular artwork is. So yes, love working with this deck. I use this deck a lot for my own kind of readings, for my own tarot practice, just because it speaks a truth like, I don't know, very few other tarot decks can, very few other tarot decks do. And then, friends, generally speaking, at that point in this reading, in this video, at that point, the public portion of the video stops. So once we've done the Q&A with Spirit, I sort of say goodbye to everybody and cut the video, if I can call it that. But actually, I don't cut the video. I actually carry on. And I record another whole section, which is specifically for, and let's call it a bonus extended reading for those members who are on my YouTube channel membership, the monthly subscription membership, where they pay a nominal amount of money per month to subscribe to me to have extra access to my content and to the work that I do. So for the motivated and activated channel members, they get an extra portion at the end of the reading. And oops, did I just bump something? I think I did. Excuse me for that. And in the extra portion for them today, I'm going to be working with the Guardian Angel Tarot to get a message from a Guardian Angel. I am going to be working with the Goddess Power Oracle because, oh my gosh, why not? Because that's a good enough reason. And then I'm going to be working with the Divine Feminine Oracle as well, Megan Watterson. So 3 incredibly powerful, incredibly amazing decks to get an additional reading, an additional message of inspiration, an additional message of guidance, as I said, for those who are on the motivated and activated tiers of the monthly membership. If you haven't already joined, do consider joining. There are 4 tiers that you can join on, and each one offers you something different. And obviously, the higher up you go, you have access to everything on the lower levels as well. Right, sales pitch done. I don't normally like to do sales pitches, but it happened. I wanted to explain what is all this reading about. Now, I'm also going to say to you, if you open up the description of this particular video below, or if you look in the timeline right here at the bottom, you will see that there are what's called chapters. So that means that you can jump around in the reading to watch the aspects and the parts that are relevant to you. So if you're not really somebody who likes working with animal energy, you can actually skip that part of the video completely. So once we've done our theme for the week, you can click straight on to go to the crystal section, or to the elements, or to the Q&A, whatever section it is that's appropriate for you. So it's quite nice. There's lots of information for you. There's lots of guidance, lots of inspiration, and it gets quite a bit of a challenge for me to fit all the cards on the on the table. And my lighting isn't great today. You can see all the shadows I have. I do apologize, but my lights went on the blink, so hopefully it's not going to be too distracting. But we'll just push through, get through it, and see where we go. So we are now going to start working with the cards that we have on the table here, being our theme. So this is my combined Goddess Love and Goddess Dream oracles. I have shuffled before I started recording, but I do like to just give a little shuffle while I have you on camera with me. So we're just giving a little shuffle. We want to know from Spirit, what is the overall theme for everybody? What is something that we all need to be mindful of? What is something that we all need to be aware of for the week ahead? And I'm feeling like I want one of the yellow cards. So I actually think I'm going to take that one over there. And I don't know why. That's how I felt, and I'm just going with it. Clearly, Spirit wants us to do that. So this is from the Goddess Dream Oracle. I think the yellow is the Goddess Dream. But let's turn it over and see theme for the week ahead for all of us. We have got rhythm. Oh, I love that. Tune into the natural rhythms of life. And you know what? I mean, just look at her. She's got her shamanic drum. She's got her animals. She's got her fire. She's got the full moon around her. You know, there's nature around her everywhere. And she's not worrying about how much money she does or doesn't have. She's not worried about the conversation she had with somebody a minute ago, or the difficult conversation she needs to have with somebody coming up. She's like really just in the moment, and she's allowing herself to be drawn to the rhythms of nature and life around her. So instead of trying to create and manifest, she's just saying, well, you know, let me just go. Let me just feel that rhythm, and let's just go with that rhythm. And I think that is just so wonderful. And you know what, again, each one of us, every single one of us, as we cycle through life and as we go through life, we tend to forget that there is a natural kind of heartbeat, a natural kind of rhythm around us. And we try often to control, to restrict, to limit, to force, you know, a rhythm that we think is going to be relevant to us, that's going to suit us, that's going to help us achieve whatever it is we need, instead of just being quiet, like stopping and just sort of saying, okay, let me listen. You know, when last have you gone and sat outside and just closed your eyes and just listened to what's going on around you, outside of you, and inside of you? All right. So, word of the year cards. Let's just shuffle. So we're taking, that one's jumped out. I'm not going to take it because it jumped out in a way that I know it's bad shuffling and not a spirit saying, pick me, but we are going to just take in the word. So that was easy. So we're just going to pay attention to easy, but I'm not taking it. If it wants to come out, of course, I won't stop it, but it needs to come out in the proper way and not just me in my bad shuffling. Okay, cards are shuffled and I am taking that one, whatever that one is. Right, where do I put these ones? My table is always in such a mess. You can see I've shown you all the decks that I'm working with, so I've got them scattered all around me, trying not to obviously come into camera shot. So yeah, quite a job, quite a process. Behind the scenes is not so pretty. Not so pretty. Okay, apparently that one. Right. I do apologize for the glare. Let's turn them over and see what we have. First card, we have Empowered. Oh, I like it. Empowered Spirit. I love it. You know, and doesn't, I'm just trying to avoid the glare for a minute, doesn't Empowered Spirit talk so nicely into rhythm and tuning in to the natural rhythm of life? Okay. To me, when we talk about Empowered Spirit, it's about understanding yourself. It's about understanding yourself, your purpose and your function. It's about understanding, what it is that's important. And I don't mean like what, as in bank account or, those kind of things. I'm talking like what's truly important. And what's truly important is your love of self, your belief of self, your understanding of your circumstances, the way that your life is with other people, the rhythm and the flow or the dance, if I can call it that, because that's what she's doing, isn't it? It's like a dance. But Empowered Spirit is about just knowing and owning your strengths and your weaknesses, knowing exactly who you are, not forcing anything. And that's what I was saying about the rhythm card, not forcing anything, by just understanding your capabilities, what you're good at doing, what you want to do, and what you need to do, and being okay with that, and not trying to force any kind of situation or any kind of circumstance. It's about just trusting and going with the flow and accepting all that life has to offer you. So an empowered spirit to me is somebody who is confident without being arrogant, somebody who is compassionate without being, gosh, I don't know. I'm not even going to try and make up words at this point. But empowered spirit to me is just somebody who's comfortable enough with themselves to not need to create or force or manipulate any kind of situation, and somebody who's very connected to the rhythm of life, to the rhythm of their circumstances, to the rhythm of their connections with other people, so much so that they understand and don't have the desire or the need to force or to push. Love, love, love that. Okay, so that's our overall theme for the week. We're now going to move on to our animal energy. So I'm just going to remind you, we are working with the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards by Leanne Peters. She is from templeofbalance.com.au. And this is exactly where I've had these cards for a couple of years now, but they are absolutely wonderful. So we're asking for an animal energy that wants to work with us for this week. What animal characteristics can we lean on, can we draw on, and can we work with in this week ahead to help us be an empowered spirit and to help us honor, listen, understand, and connect with the rhythm of life? Okay, that's the one I'm going for. I apologize for the glare. I will move the card right now. I love the little ladybird on the back of the cards, but let's turn it over and see what animal we have. We've got the orca whale. Oh, how magical. And look at it, says living your life purpose, card number 28. Living your life purpose. And again, isn't that an empowered spirit? Like, isn't that exactly what an empowered spirit is? An empowered spirit is somebody who is living their life purpose without expectation, without attachment, without, all of those other kind of yucky things that go with it. It's just about saying, you know what, this is who I am. This is the reason I exist. This is what I need to do, and just getting on and doing it. No ego, no expectations, no kind of, I almost want to say no measurements of pass or fail. Because when we put measurements of pass or fail, we're suddenly putting a whole lot of additional pressure on ourselves. And again, when it comes to the rhythm of life, when it comes to tuning into the rhythm of life, it's also about just recognizing the flow of the waves. So it's about recognizing the flow of the waves. And when it's a high tide, we take advantage and we do certain things. But when it's low tide, we understand our limitations and the things that we shouldn't do, and we don't try. And again, that's an empowered spirit, is somebody who understands that, somebody who understands the play of of rhythm, of seasons, of circumstances and situations. And it's about not pushing. And you know what? Everything that I'm saying to you now, I'm being reminded by Spirit is the conversation we had with Spirit recently. So if you haven't already watched episode 2 of my conversations with Spirit, please do go and watch it. I will try and remember to put a link up, but I'm terrible at remembering that, so I probably won't remember. But episodes with Spirit, episode 2, Conversations with Spirit, episode 2, I'll get the words right eventually. We were talking about that, about knowing when. Knowing when is at the right time. So again, orca whale, living your life, living your purpose, about understanding the energies of the ocean, the energies of your circumstances, and working with them, tuning into the natural rhythms of life, and working with that instead of trying to go against it or trying to manipulate or create it to suit yourself. And once we've done that, once we've figured that out, we will be a truly empowered spirit. And you know what? Once we've achieved that, it's almost like, that's actually the goal. That's actually what we're working towards. And it doesn't matter what your job title is, what your bank balance is, what your address is, what your circumstances are. Being an empowered spirit means just being completely okay with your circumstances, whatever they may be. All right. I love that, actually. Let's move into our crystal for the week ahead. So this is from Colette Baron Reed's Crystal Spirits Oracle. So we're looking for, again, energies, elements of a crystal that we need to use, or that we can use, that is available to us for the week ahead. Crystal energy for the week ahead. What crystal elements, energies, and characteristics can we draw on for the week ahead? And see what we have. Orange calcite. Oh, I think I've got some of that somewhere. I'm not going to try and scratch for it now, but orange calcite, isn't it beautiful? I love how this one is depicted in a heart shape, because that ties in with living your purpose. That ties in with tuning into the rhythm of life and everything that we have. It is card 40. And again, I'm not ever going to profess to be a crystal expert. I'm actually going to swap them around because of the card sizes, so it makes it easier for us to see. So I am going to refer to the guidebook for the orange calcite, just to get a little snapshot of what orange calcite message is for us. Oh, I see. Well, I'm looking at page 40. Oh, look at me. I don't even know how to look up a guidebook. Oh my gosh, forgive me. I'm looking at page 40 and not crystal 40, orange calcite. Essential meaning of orange calcite: creativity and the pleasure of birthing something new, sensuality and sexuality. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I'm just going to take you through the first paragraph. So the creative force of the conscious universe flows through you, and this is a fertile time for you as you feel your connection to the source of all inventiveness. Right now, your ability to channel creativity and birthing something new is exceptional. Orange calcite spirit message is to fully inhabit the role of artist and co-creator, for you are the creative type right now. Being playful as you exercise your imagination will help you to recognize what you want to co-create and how you might take action towards fulfilling your deepest desires. So as you begin to craft something new, you will feel inspired and fulfilled with optimism, because the conscious universe is actually coming through you to express itself. You are both the created and the co-creator, an expression of conscious universe and the one who expresses its creativity. I love that. So friends, I think exactly, if we just bring it all together and understand the full message here, orange calcite is saying to you, create. It is time for you to actually manifest, create, and to have something that you've been working for, wanting, or longing for, living your life purpose, understanding the rhythms of life, and working towards being an empowered spirit. So this is definitely a good week of beginnings, but it's also a good week of just paying attention to your surroundings. Okay, this week, as we move into our last week in February, let's pay attention to our surroundings, and let's be mindful of everybody and anything and everyone around us. But let's also understand that we have power, we have potential, that we have the ability to create anything that we want for ourselves. So if you're listening to the incorrect rhythms or the incorrect songs, and if you're not living your purpose, if you're not working towards being an empowered spirit, you're going to miss the opportunity to create something for yourself that you want, that you need, and that you desire. So I'm absolutely loving that. And you know what? To me, it always ties in, doesn't it? It always seems to come together. It always seems to work. All right. That is awesome. I hope you have enjoyed that. We're now going to move into the next portion of the video and the next portion of the reading, which is the elemental readings. And for the elemental readings, I am working with the beautiful, the amazing Meraki Tarot. I just absolutely love this deck. I'm going to do the elemental readings per element, obviously, fire, earth, air, and water. And we have 3 zodiac signs within each element, and I will remind you what they are. So when you know which earth element, listen to me. Once you know which element you fit into, you can then watch just that portion of the elemental readings to get your guidance and your inspiration for the week ahead. So I'm going to give the cards a shuffle. We're starting off with the element of fire. So fire signs being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So we're looking to see what's in store for you guys for the week ahead. What is it that you need to be mindful of? What is it that you need to be aware of? And what is important and significant for each one of you for the week ahead? So fire signs being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Cards are shuffled, and I'm just going to cut them over there. Fire signs, first one we have is the Knight of Swords, and the second card we have is the Two of Cups. We're going to take 2 cards for each. I don't know where to put those. I'm just sorry about that orange calcite, but just going to put them there that they're out of the way. What we have here with the Knight of Swords. Now, for me, every time the Knight of Swords comes up, I immediately go to learning, lessons, education, okay? I don't know why, but it's where I go, and it's the way that I interpret the Knight of Swords. To me, the Knight of Swords is telling you it's time for learning. It's time to actually take your textbook knowledge, your kind of theoretical knowledge, and to put it into practice. There's a lot of learning that needs to happen, and if you're not paying attention, if you're not living your purpose and creating opportunities and understanding the rhythm, you're wasting the lessons. So it's like knowing that there's a time and a place. If you study to be a surgeon, and just random example, and I'm using surgeon because of the swords here as the scalpel. So if you studied to be a surgeon, you can't just anytime you feel like it, whip out your scalpel and start performing surgery. There's a time and a place, and we have to understand the circumstances around that. But it's understanding that you have the opportunity to create that for yourself, but you have to also listen to the rhythm of life and know when is it good and when is it not good to do the thing. So it is saying to all my fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, that this is a week to actually put everything into context. It's a week of actually looking and observing and seeing everything that you've been doing and understand the truth behind that, and knowing that it's the time now to fully comprehend, to fully understand, and to utilize that knowledge and that information in a partnership connection with somebody else. So, and I know our fire signs, and I say our fire signs because I'm a fire sign myself. I know fire signs, we tend to feel very strong and very independent, and feel like we can do it on our own. We don't need anybody. We don't need help. We're strong. We're capable. We're all of these kind of things. But I do think it's important, again, to understand that if you're listening to the rhythms of life and living yourself, being an empowered spirit means that it's okay to let somebody help you. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out and say, hey, let's work together, because if we work together, it's going to be easier for all of us concerned. Now, I'm suddenly noticing, looking at the artwork here. Now, these are 2 different suits. We've got the suit of swords and the suit of cups. We've got the knight, which is a court card, and we've got a number 2, which is like right at the bottom of the numbering system. But as I look at the artwork, I'm seeing so many similarities, and I'm going to take a minute to point them out to you. We have got earth in this bottom portion. We have got water in this bottom portion, and they're almost like the same height. We've both got birds across the top, and again, almost in the same portion. It's like 1/3, 1/3, same and same. And then obviously in the center of the card, we've got 2 butterflies at the bottom. We've got 2 fish at the bottom. And then in the middle of the card here, we have this lotus flower, and here we have this huge big butterfly with the sword that is relevant. And both have got some clouds in the sky. So I'm seeing a lot of duplicate kind of symmetry between these 2 cards, which apparently goes again to the yin and the yang, okay? Goes to partnership, goes to being an empowered spirit and taking opportunities when they present themselves, but understanding that you have the ability to manifest and to create that as and when you need to. So fire signs, that is what this week is in store for you. That is how to take advantage of the energies of the week ahead, and don't be afraid to do whatever it is that you need to. Good. Now we're moving on to our earth signs. Earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Let's have a look and see for my earth signs. What do you need to be aware of? What do you need to know? What's in store for you for the week ahead? Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Cards are shuffled, cutting over there. First card we have for earth signs is the Wheel of Fortune. Lovely. And the second card we have is the Four of Wands. Okay. So let's bring them into a space where we can all see. I run out of space on my tiny little table here. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune is a really strong card. Okay, it's a major arcana card, and it talks about understanding karma. It talks about how that wheel turns. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. The seasons are changing every single day. The moon cycles are changing. Cycles of life are changing. We've got cycles of life here with the rhythms, and also the orca. We have that cycles of life there, and living life purpose and understanding what's truly important. So with the Wheel of Fortune, it talks about a good time, a positive period, luck and fortune, good fortune on your side. But it also says that you've got to understand that everything is in constant shift. Nothing ever stays the same. And something that you do now will have cause and effect at a later stage as well. So the Wheel of Fortune, as much as it is a positive omen, a positive card, and it really talks about positive experiences, it also does come with a little bit of warning and say you must always understand the law of karma, and that sometimes something we do on this side of the wheel, when we get to the other side of the wheel, you'll be held accountable, or you will have to face the consequences of those actions and those behaviors. So I do think for all my earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Spirit is saying that there is a window of opportunity available for you this week, and you've got to make sure that you understand it and that you take it in whichever way you need to. And then I'm actually going to bring this one up closer and show you. So this is the Four of Wands, but just look at all the bees and look at all the butterflies and just look at all the, I want to say to you, the sweetness and the potential that's in the card. There's a dragonfly over there as well. And there's like this kind of misty energy that's flowing through. And the tree is about to blossom. So it's almost that, I want to say it's that moment before things happen, that moment before, unlimited potential steps into play. So again, earth signs being my Taurus, my Virgo, and my Capricorn. This is Spirit saying to you, there is a window of opportunity for you to flourish, to succeed, to experience, to have such good fortune in your life. It is not one that you can slow down and take your time with. This is one where you need to actually grab the opportunity while it comes. And again, remind yourself about orange calcite. Orange calcite was saying to you, that you are the master of your creativity. You have the opportunity to create things for yourself. Be an empowered spirit. Recognize the potential, recognize the opportunity, and don't hold back. Because if you hold back, it could affect you. With the Four of Wands, it is also confirmation that whatever this is that you're doing this week, it's not a short project. It's not a short-term project. Let me use those words correctly. It's actually something much bigger than that. So you're going to find yourself having a really good week of actually creating foundations or taking steps or moving towards living your life purpose, as long as you're listening to the rhythm of life and working towards being an empowered spirit. But whatever this is this week, this opportunity that's presenting itself to you this week, you have got a limited time frame to kickstart it, to jump on it, to get going with it. And the other thing that you have to understand is that you may not see results of it immediately, because this is a long-term, what's the word I'm looking for? A long-term project, a long-term opportunity. Awesome. Earth signs, looks like you're in for a good week indeed. Okay, so we're just going to push those over there. Next, we have air signs. Air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Let's have a look and see what you need to know, what's important for you, what's significant for you for the week ahead. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Week ahead energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The cards are shuffled. I'm going to cut the deck over there. First card we have for you is the Seven of Wands. Second card we have for you is the Fool. Oh, how wonderful. Right, so let's have a look, air signs. I'm going to pick this one up because I feel like I want you to actually see the artwork we have. So Seven of Wands. Here we have, I'm going to call him a little otter character. And he is standing on a log of some kind. And this is something that he normally uses to build up his home, to secure his home base, to protect himself. So it's about building defenses, isn't it? And that's exactly the message of the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is the card of defensiveness, but it's saying to you or asking you and saying, right, what are you being overly defensive or are you not being defensive enough? What are you doing to build your defenses? Let's just be mindful and let's just be aware of the defenses and the defensiveness that we're putting up and that we're experiencing in our life at the moment. So we're not saying that you're being overly defensive and we're not saying that you're being too trusting and too free. It's about just being aware and just being mindful. And the reason I'm interpreting it that way is because of our glorious Fool card. So here we have, I see Amazon package, courier bringing something yummy and something delicious and something fabulous that we've been waiting for. We have the loyal dog over there. The loyal dog is standing overlooking the cliff. But what we have here is a box of potential. That's really what it is. And just look at all those beautiful crystal energies that the box is containing. You can see the box is undamaged. You can see the box is unlabeled. So the fact that the box is unlabeled, let me just take that for a minute. As somebody who loves when the courier brings me parcels, because it's invariably a tarot deck of some kind. But when a box has got a label on it, when it's got a sticker on it that says where it's from and where it's going to, immediately its options are removed, isn't it? Immediately it is limited, restricted, and almost like its lifespan is predetermined. Okay, this particular box, it's not sealed, it's not labeled, it's not packaged, which means it could be for anyone, anywhere, and it may contain absolutely anything. It's like a gift that's been wrapped up. You know, we don't know what's in there. It could be 1,000 different things. So for all my air signs this week, again, air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, this is Spirit saying to you, don't be too quick to be defensive. Don't be too quick to say no. Don't be too quick to restrict or limit yourself, your situation, or your circumstances. Understand the potential that's available to you. Understand that there are no limits, no restrictions, and nothing holding you back and nothing stopping you and preventing you from living the life that you want. So this week, be mindful of your reactions, of your actions and your reactions, sorry, of what you like. How are you limiting or restricting yourself, or are you not putting any limits or restrictions? So just question yourself around that and understand that there's no need for limits and restrictions unless it's appropriate, relevant to the situation and the circumstance. Okay, that is really, really important. So for you guys this week, for air signs, it's just about, let's pay attention to what we're doing, how we're reacting, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, and most important, about the limits that we're putting on ourselves. And I am going to encourage you to remove the boundaries and to remove the limits and to just live your purpose, understand how you are in control, that you can manifest. As long as you are listening to the rhythms around you, you will become the empowered spirit that you need to be. Okay, I love that, air signs. And I love that you've got the Fool card, which talks about unlimited potential and, you know, anything is possible and anything can happen as long as you allow. Right. We're now going to move on to our water signs. Water signs being our Cancerians, our Scorpios, and our Pisces energy. We're looking at the week ahead. What is the energies around you? What do you need to know? What energies are you working with for the week ahead? For water signs being the Cancerians, the Scorpions, and our Pisceans. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I will get it right eventually. Right. Cards are shuffled, putting together, cutting over there. First card we have for water signs is the Five of Swords. Second card we have, very interesting, Nine of Cups. Right, moving the tarot deck completely out the way because I'm done with it for now. So water signs, let's have a look at this Five of Swords. So here we have, I'm tempted to call this little character a Tasmanian devil, but I may be completely wrong with what it is. All right. We have got two birds at the top here, and you can see that they are in flight. You can see that they are moving, but it's almost like, you know, I almost want to call it the struggle between good and evil. Okay, and I'm not just assuming that they're good and that he's evil. I'm not assuming that at all, but it certainly looks like it's polar opposites, it's worlds apart, and it's the struggle between where we fit in and where we are and where we want to be. I am going to say to you, Five of Swords in traditional tarot, Five of Swords is the card of disappointment, and it's saying like, well, sometimes we have to do things we're not proud of, or sometimes we have to do things we're not happy with in order to give ourselves the chance to succeed. It's like stepping out of your comfort zone and actually telling somebody off. We don't want to do it. It's not part of our nature. It's not part of who we are, and it's certainly not something we enjoy doing. But every now and again, it's necessary. It's like reprimanding a naughty child. We don't like being that parent. We don't like doing those kind of things, but sometimes it is necessary. And sometimes telling somebody no, okay? But that's exactly what's going on here. It's like sometimes we actually have to turn around to a person and say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm not doing that for you. Do it yourself. So it's about understanding, I'm going to call it the lesser of all evils, and understanding that sometimes you have to play the good guy and sometimes you have to play the bad guy. And even though it's not something that makes you happy, and even though it's not really what you want for yourself, sometimes we don't have a choice in the matter. So you've got to ask yourself, and this is for all my water signs, where are you fitting in this week? Okay? Can you be that one, or can you be both? And it's about judging the situation, judging your circumstances, and deciding which is the right one for you. Now, what is incredibly interesting is the card that goes with it. So just to bring it up close, camera focus, we have got the Nine of Cups, and we have all of these gorgeous, beautiful fishies underwater with all of these water bubbles. So we have abundance, because that's what the Nine of Cups is. The Nine of Cups is about, recognizing all that you have, recognizing all the happiness and the joy in your life, recognizing that things shared with people in your life are always much better. But it's almost like each one of these little fishies represents an accomplishment, an achievement, and a success in your life. So it's about you just sort of paying attention to what you have achieved, what you have accomplished, and almost celebrating that, and not feeling like you're the villain. Okay, so water signs for this week, it is going to be a good week for you, considering everything else that we have here. It is going to be a good week for you, but I also think this is a week where you've got to start recognizing and acknowledging how many times you stood up for yourself or fought back, if I can put it that way, and succeeded. Because maybe, again, our villain was maybe trying to catch the birds. Maybe the birds were standing on these crosses and he was using this as a lure to lure them in and to catch them. But they reacted quick enough, they responded quick enough, they've said no, and they are busy flying off, and they are now safe. So it's about recognizing your accomplishments. It's about sort of saying to yourself, I've actually done okay. I've actually done well. I'm not so in such a bad predicament. Even though I'm not so strong, even though I'm not so big, even though I'm not so whatever, I still have, can, and will continue to achieve many, many great things as I need to. So water signs, it looks like it's a week again for you to do a little bit of introspection and to recognize it's okay to fight back occasionally, and it's also okay to acknowledge all your successes and accomplishments in life. Good. Right. So there we have all our elementals done and completed. The next portion of the reading, the next portion of the video, is moving straight into our Q&A with Spirit. So let's shuffle the questions cards. Let's shuffle the questions cards. So we're asking from Spirit, what is something that we all need to know? What is something that we all need to be aware of? Well, actually, no. What is a question we all have on our minds? What is a question that we all need, whether we actually are aware or not aware, but what is a question we all need answered to help us on our evolution and our change and our progress so that we can be like the orca whale and living our life purpose? Okay. You know what? Isn't that just the funniest thing? So that card went flying, as you saw. And as I'm reading it, what can I do to gain more clarity and focus? That's what my Friday just gone's pick a card was all about. It was about gaining clarity. Is it gaining clarity? I'm sure that's what it was called. I can't even remember now. So gaining clarity was what Friday's pick a card topic was. So again, if you haven't watched that, maybe go back and watch that. This is a sign. This is something, or maybe this is Spirit saying that the 3 areas of life that we gained clarity on in that particular reading maybe wasn't sufficient, and that maybe each one of us need to gain a little bit more clarity and focus in our lives. So I am going to leave the question there, and I am now grabbing the beautiful, the amazing, the fabulous Tarot of the Abyss. Love, love, love this deck. Absolutely love this deck. Okay, so let's actually give it a proper shuffle, if I can, without bumping. I see I've already bumped that one. So what can I do? And by I mean we. So what can we do to gain more clarity and focus in our lives. So what can we all do? What can we all do to gain more clarity and focus in wherever and whichever place and space in our lives we need it? So what can we do to gain more clarity and focus? I have a card that has jumped. I'm going to accept. What can we do to gain more clarity and focus? What can we all do to gain more clarity and focus? Right. I feel like the cards are shuffled. Cutting over there. All right. I have one card. I have two cards and I have three cards. Wow. Love, love, love what I'm seeing. Okay. Finding space to put the cards down. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put them all next to each other. So let me do some rearranging here. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me for all the rearranging. I never get all of this right, and now I think I actually just made a mess. Right, let's see. So what can, I think that works. We can see all the cards okay. What can we do to gain more clarity and focus? So the three cards that I have across the bottom here, and I see they are slightly cut off, but bear with me. Four of Pentacles. Look how he's holding on to everything. He's got two coins, and they're like oversized and extra large. He's also got two or one each under his feet, and he's like clamoring to hold on. He's trying to hold on so tight. What is he holding on to? And that's what comes through with our Three of Swords. Look what's happened. Her heart has cracked and split open, but she has freed a little bird from her heart space. So she's had to break. She's had to reveal a flaw in her makeup in order to set something free. That's quite interesting. And we also have the Nine of Wands. And I mean, he is so battered. He's got bandages everywhere. He's got his arm in his sling. He's holding on to this pole for dear life, but he's not giving up. You know, it doesn't matter how tough and hard it's getting. He's not giving up. All right. So those are the three cards that we've drawn. Sorry, changing my mind around where to put that. What can we do? What can we do to gain more clarity and focus? All three of these cards are not light, airy, fun, and happy, okay? There's an energy, there's a heaviness about every single one of these cards. And I do think this is Spirit saying for every single one of us, let's acknowledge how difficult life is. Let's acknowledge that things are not easy, that things are not simple, that actually life is pretty tough at the moment, okay? And until we can admit that to ourselves, until we can be completely honest as to how much we're suffering and how hard it is and how difficult it is and how much we feel like we're losing, until we can admit that to ourselves, we're not going to gain the clarity and focus that we need in life. We're not going to find the solutions, okay? Because to me, what is like if I take the words clarity and focus and I try and understand them, immediately what I get when I say clarity and focus, it's like understanding what next, where to next, how am I going to change my circumstance? How am I going to improve my circumstance? How am I going to change my circumstance? What am I going to do next? That to me is clarity and focus. Because when we have clarity and focus, we also become an empowered spirit. Just need to bring that into it. Because an empowered spirit is somebody who has total clarity and focus on who they are, what they are, where they are, how they are, and why they are. And how are we going to live our life purpose if we don't have clarity and focus? Remember what Orange Calcite was saying about being creative and being the master of your own creativity. And again, listening to the rhythms of life. Remember we were talking about the rhythms of life and the orca whale. I was talking about the tides of the water and how when it's high tide, we can do certain things that we can't do when it's low tide and vice versa. And if you don't understand the rhythms, you're never going to be able to take advantage of things when you need to take advantage of. Coming back to the three tarot cards that I have drawn to answer the question of gaining clarity and focus. Four of Pentacles is the card of holding on, or sorry, let me add a word in, of knowing when to hold on and when to let go. About understanding, right, these are all my possessions, these are all my talents, these are my skills, this is my collection, okay? This is the stuff that I have. Sometimes I need to use my stuff and sometimes I need to hold on to my stuff. And again, when I use the term stuff, I'm not just talking about the tangibles. I'm talking about the skills, the emotions, the intellect. I'm talking about the money. I'm talking about the possessions. I'm talking about the tools, all of those kind of things. There's a time and a place. Remember earlier on I was talking about, and I think it might have been under one of the elementals, so not everybody would have seen it or heard it, but it's about if you're a surgeon, if you've studied to be a surgeon, You can't just walk around, operating wherever the mood strikes you. There's a time and a place. And that's exactly what this Four of Pentacles. It's about understanding and recognizing the time and the place. But it's also a reminder that sometimes you're too afraid to let go of an item. And again, item, I don't just mean a tangible, I'm talking about the intangible as well. But we're so afraid to let go of something because we feel like letting it go means losing it. But sometimes the best way to gain clarity and focus is to let things go so that you can get a different perspective. With this three of hearts, with this Three of Swords. Now, again, the Anatolian who created this particular deck, her artwork, it's just so, like, it just speaks to the soul, doesn't it? I mean, I almost don't have to put any words into this, but here she has her heart space, okay? Left hand side of her chest, it is a heart space. It was, I'm going to call it, a perfect little bird shape, but she has now cracked and freed herself. So now this tiny little soul, this tiny little energy, this tiny little bird is now free to fly. So she's obviously sad because now she's lost a part of herself. She's had to sacrifice a part of herself and to let go of a part of herself. The bird is ecstatic because the bird is now free. The bird can now go wherever it wants to. But maybe there is a sadness here as well, because maybe the two of them had actually become friends. Maybe the two of them actually had built quite a strong connection with each other. So even though there is freedom, there is still suffering on both sides. Okay, I do think she's suffering, but I also think she's happy for her friend. She's happy for the little bird. She's happy that the little bird is free. Is she sad for herself? Of course she is. And is there anything wrong in that? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything wrong in being happy and sad at the same time for the same situation. And again, that's how we gain clarity. We've again got ourselves into a situation where we believe we have to only be one emotion or the other. We don't agree, or we don't allow ourselves to actually feel both around the same situation at the same time. And I do think the best way for us to gain clarity on ourselves, on our own lives, on our own expectations, on our own life purpose, is to understand that mixed emotions around the same situation is okay. And finally, with our Nine of Wands. So our Nine of Wands, he's done his best. He's worked so hard. He's put so much time and effort into absolutely everything that he's doing, everything that he's done. Is he succeeding? Of course he is. Does he feel like he's succeeding? No, not at all. He feels so battered and bruised and so exhausted and so sore, And I'm gonna equate him to somebody who's working out at the gym. If you go to the gym for a couple of hours a day, every day of the week, you're gonna feel the pain. And sometimes you wake up in the morning and go, oh, I really don't want to go. I really don't want to. I don't want to do it anymore. But actually, you force yourself and you get up and go until eventually you start seeing the results of your effort. And then suddenly it's worth it. But up until that point, while the struggle is still real, you've got to ask yourself, is it worth it? And we do question ourselves, don't we? So again, friends, how do we gain more clarity and focus in our lives? It's about understanding that sometimes you have to let go and sometimes you have to hold on, that sometimes you're going to feel a conflict of emotions around the same situation, and that's okay. Don't have expectations for one or the other. It's about understanding that it's a give and a take around everything, and that if there is no pain, because that's what we've got here with these two, actually with all three, if there is no pain, there is no growth, there's no understanding, and there's no progress. And the way that you're going to be the best empowered spirit that you can be is about recognizing the give and take of life. And isn't that the rhythm? Isn't that the waves, how the waves come and go? High tide, low tide. Wave comes in, wave goes out. Wave comes in, wave goes out. We have the full moon cycle, how we go from full moon to no moon to new moon to full moon, and so on again. It's all about the cycles of life, the rhythms of life. And as the orca whale reminds us, living your purpose. Living your purpose, look at that circle, coming full circle, and living your purpose, and actually being okay with that. Having no expectations except to just be the best version of yourself that you can be, and be okay with that, because that's what it means to be an empowered spirit. Wow. Gosh, friends, that was 48 minutes, actually, as I say this now, 49 minutes of a lot. 49 minutes of a lot. All right, friends, for those of you who are watching up until this point, thank you so much for being here. I do hope that this week empowers you and inspires you and helps you to achieve all that you need to and all that you want to. wishing you every bit of success that there may be for you, and I hope you have an awesome week. I'm now going to jump onto the extended slash bonus slash, I don't know what to call it, portion of the reading, where we're going to continue on for my motivated and activated channel members. So if that's you, do stay connected for that portion, and for the rest of you, love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.